Since I now produce two different types of reeds, the moulded reed and the ridge cut reed, I thought it'd be best to discuss the different ways of approaching setting up these reeds. Now, the moulded reed, I hope you can see this, has a more or less a taper going from the binding up to the tips, more or less a straight cut, whereas the ridge cut reed has a very strong piece of cane coming up from the binding up to a shoulder which cuts down a very thin tip. Now when setting up these reeds, they need a very different approach. Moulded reeds will just need a bit of warm air blown through them to soften their fibres, to make them relax and to bring out the best in the reed. When I set them to a strength, I generally write on them a strength which is a couple of inches of water below what they will end up with once they've had some warm, moist air introduced to them. I'll demonstrate that with this pressure gauge. Now this one's just blown dry. It's blowing about 33 inches of water. Now I'm going to take it out for you and just blow some warm air through it. It doesn't need any squeezing. Just some warm air. Now this should have come down a couple of inches of water. Let's see. It has come down 3 inches of water, which is more or less where I'd expect it to come. So whenever I set a reed to strength, it's always set at a position slightly higher than where it will be once some warm air is introduced to it. Now with the ridge cuts, you have to be much more aggressive with them. Because of the amount of cane that's at the base of the reed, they do need quite a good flexing of the material in order to get the reed to sound right, or to apply a good pressure. I'm just going to test this one now. It's blowing about 38 inches of water. Really quite hard to blow. Now, I'm just going to take a little bit of water and wet the reed with it. Now I want to do this before flexing it, because if I don't do this, the reed may snap. The blades may snap. Now I've wetted it, I'm going to hold the blades together with my thumb and forefinger and rock them backwards and forwards like this. It's quite an aggressive movement. If you did this with a moulded reed, you may find that you don't have much of a reed after you've finished with it. Now that's pulled it down substantially. It's gone down to 26 inches of water. Now, if you find that's too easy, you can easily give it a pinch back open again whilst it's still wet. So you're much less likely to break those blades. That's nearly at 30 inches of water now. So you can see you've got a lot more adjustment you can do with a ridge cut reed by manipulating it than you can with a moulded reed. Now if a moulded reed is still too strong, if you haven't had it set to strength and you find it's too strong, you will need to adjust the strength of it by taking some cane off the blades. If you've got it preset to strength, you should be good to go as soon as it arrives.